Um, I wanted to showcase a few things about this Lord of the Rings Return of the King Game Boy game, Game Boy Advance game that I've been emulating recently. Um, and just some techniques and stuff that I didn't see covered on the internet, and just things to think about. So I'll just go ahead and just start off with the Legolas character. You'll notice that these 3 high-level characters are all in Athelian North. I seem to gravitate there just because there's a lot of high-level stuff, and it's good for treasure hunting, which my Gimli does, and I just like to keep Gandalf around there, but I'll just show you the Legolas first and just how obscene some of these elements are about the skill set. So I mean, I got like a Night Burst and a Sunburst item here, the Pothelm's Knight, the Double Mail Sun, and I got some serious spirit regeneration, or health regeneration here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and then I got an 8 spirit regen here, and then this like pretty solid bow, Blackbone Dynasty Bow of the Wolf. Thanks, Gimli, for finding that for me. And I usually carve on the fire burst, so I got 3 different bursts. With this character, I wanted to sing the praises of the speed. Obviously, fleet of foot is a big deal. Legolas can really burn around, which is pretty tight when you're speed running or whatever. Extra bow is good. You really want all these things that have something to do with your accuracy and your bow attacks and whatever. It's just good stuff. Arrow parry I maxed out because I had nothing else to do, but that's 36% chance of arrows not hitting me, so I'll take that. The spread fire was the first thing I maxed. It's really solid. You can run up to some creature and just hit them with 7 arrows at once and blast them. I wouldn't suggest getting this white knives thing. It's kind of clown, and you're just too close to something. It's just going to kill you anyways. Foraging I've been looking at recently. It seems to be alright. And Silent Stride is fucking amazing. And I didn't realize it at first. I'd read some manual about how good it was, and they were like, yeah, it sucks, so don't really worry about it. But then, I mean, you can essentially be invisible for, what is that, like 6 seconds or something, and the whole time just raining down 60 damage arrows on anything, and it's just obscene. And I'll show you that in a second. So if I set to it, there we go. I'm getting hit, not good, but now I'm invisible. Nobody even sees me. And then I just can stay invisible because of all that spirit regeneration stuff I've got. And just nobody can even hang. It's obscene. And it gets when you use this technique, it gets a little difficult sometimes, like, I mean, barely difficult in contexts like, where you're fighting Nazgul, but they're really not that big a deal. I mean, everything just dissolves in the face of that much damage, and then they can't even hit you in the first place, so it's just stupid how effective that can be. I just got really lucky that I found that Necromancer thing, so if you find it, just never give it up, because having 8 spirit regeneration is just obscene in any context. This item here, so you definitely want to hang on to that, and notice the 17 damage to Nazgul, which is a pretty big deal, in general, so that's pretty tight. I keep another bow in there, but I don't really use it. I just like to have a couple sitting around. I think I have a treasure hunting bow. No, I sold it, never mind, sorry. But I did have one, but he's not really a really good treasure hunter. So you notice that someone did hit me when I was invisible. That was because they were tracking me before I, went invisible. When I came back, they just shot at the last place they saw me. Either way, Legolas pretty much crushes at this point. I can show you the Gandalf. I'll finish with the... Oh, that's not what I want to do. I'll load the Gandalf, and then I'll finish with the Gimli. So this is a Mage Gandalf. He's kind of looking for like a mild spirit regen package with maxed wisdom as much as I could. This mage staff is alright. It's got a lot of HP regen and spirit regen. That's kind of why I keep it around. This has more wisdom, and I I have had a Purple Heart Mage Staff, which is like really fast spirit regeneration, but this is probably the best that I'll be able to find in the game. This Icy Mage Staff, the Immortal. Velvet Vestments, whatever. Talisman of the Wizards, up in the Wisdom, of course. Got more HP regen, because he kind of takes a little bit of damage, unfortunately. So now I'm sitting on 8 HP regen. Sorry, 10 HP regen. And I just have basically only use this attack at all, Light Strike. And I maximized all these things to get myself have a really strong attack with spells and the sort. I don't really fuck with even interacting with people in a violent way that isn't with my spell. So we'll see how it works. It's pretty damaging, and you can see that I'm trying to keep my spirit pretty high all the time. So I'll take a few shots and then back off to let it recharge. But I mean, it regenerates pretty well, and this is why I wish I had another one of those Necromancer items, because that would really keep my spirit regen at pretty much a mathematic maximum. Currently don't have it, but either way, he's pretty good. He can do a lot of damage. So that's how that works. Okay. So with Gimli, he's my treasure hunter, but he's also probably my strongest character, just because of how much time I've put into him. And just these things, these items for critical hits and 1 damage, and these ridiculous things. And I've had like a ton of money with him from all the treasure stuff I sold, so I maxed out a bunch of these skill sets. Like Berserker's really good, and Deathstrike and Axe Master are good. I like this Axe Throw a lot, especially since I throw 2 and they both track. So like sometimes when I'm in over my head, I'll just go hide somewhere and throw them at people. Dwarven Rage is pretty good. I really like Earth Shatter. You can kind of like push things out of the way if they're like stuck. Like sometimes, like for instance, let me think. I can just stand here and just take hits, but it 1-hit kills dwarves and stuff, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, I just like to just scoop items here, but give me a second to sell these, and I'll show you a few tricks. I want to see these. 500 gems. The highest I've ever seen something sell for is like 1,100 gems, but I've sold many in north of 1,000 range. It's pretty sweet. And I usually sell the blue items, I find, just because they don't do too much for me anymore. I usually don't find them to be that like effective of weapons or just skilled items, and they don't even fetch that much money even, really. So this is, I told you, the treasure hunting Gimli. He's got 90 extra treasure with the necklace, 30 with this, 60 with this, 35, 25, 30, 25, and 25. So I think I'm sitting on a combined like 305 or so, like just north of 300 treasure retrieval bonus. And then when I factor in the fact that I have the keen eyes thing and the dwarf sense thing, then the amount of treasure you can find with Gimli is really impressive. So what I was talking about earlier with like knocking people out of the way with this movement, like for instance when I treasure hunt, like when I knock this top left thing here, these 2 guys pop out in the bottom right corner. And sometimes one of them gets stuck in the tree where he spawns out of, so I'll just push that button and then they'll skirt out of the way. Because if I, like, sometimes like I'll kill them and then they'll spawn in the tree trunk and I won't be able to get the item that they drop when I kill them. And it'll be something in red, and I'm like, dang. It would have been really cool to have that, but now I can't get it. See, like, this dude up above me, he's, like, stuck in a tree. And I wouldn't be able to get his item. But, yeah. Um, so I find a lot of good items, and I let most of them go. I'm just occasionally looking for higher treasure items, which is just a weird thing to have this treasure hunting package to find other items to hunt treasure. But once you get to a certain point, you don't really find good stuff, like stuff that's good enough for you. I like to find Narsil, whatever, Aragorn's sword, so I can give it to him as a gift from a friend. But I don't know. I also always have a ton of money with this character, gems. So currently I've got 24,000 gems, but it's not uncommon for Gimli to have like 40,000 gems, just because I'll find all these really good red and green items and sell them all at the store there, at the forge. But the reason I like being an Athelian is it's really good for grinding and treasure hunting. There's a lot of trolls. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 trolls here. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trolls here. And they have a lot of treasure, and then there's a lot of captains and stuff that have treasure. So it's good for treasure, good for EXP. And you can walk in this waterfall. There's a ranger hollow, so you can get another one of your Entwaters. If you go up north here, uphill, I don't know what to say. There's your ranger hollow, and I store a couple items. See, like, you look at this and be like, oh, cool, blue axe, but it's really a piece of trash, I think. I'm waiting for my Aragorn to level up enough that I can give him this, so he can use that immobilize, because it's pretty kick-ass, and I just have this saved for some stupid reason. But I try and keep my, I just find so many good items nowadays that I just don't even worry about it, and that's kind of cocky, but it's whatever. So real quick, I can walk out of here, and the whole map refreshes, so I essentially just walk out, kill these guys, kill this guy, and then walk in here again, and then walk out, and I can just come over here and kill these guys. And these are like really high experience characters that I'm fighting right now. Like a troll who's one of the highest, and then I find all these like solid items, you know, which is pretty tight. And I just ditch them, and I can just come back out, and like this is literally the fastest place to level up, I think, in the game. Like, I can be fighting a troll every 15 seconds, essentially, and that's just really solid. Boring as fuck, but actually it's not. I still do it. I find it to be therapeutic, and I think it's just pretty funny how the ease with which Gimli just flattens people in this context. And then I figured out once that there's a glitch here, where if you hit one of these guys with Night Burst, they'll just infinitely spawn, and you can just like keep waging war on them until until you want to stop. And I did that once. I think I leveled up between 17 and 18 in like a minute. It was pretty sweet. But yeah, so that's it. I kind of have this game running at 2 times speed. When it's at normal speed, it's like unbearably slow. He's like a total slug, because I'm just focused on treasure, not on speed. And they'll just chuck all this stuff at me. It just seems like I'm playing in slow motion now. It doesn't even seem realistic. Yeah, I don't know. Is this really how fast it works? This is like the slowest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, that's why I just have to play with that 2 times speed, because this is an emulator, so I can do that. But yeah, that's a demo of the characters. They pretty much crush. I play some in the Mines of Moria. I've beaten the game with everybody except Aragorn. I saved him for last, because he's kind of like a Gimli, except without the treasure thing, so I'm going to just find a bunch of really good stuff for him and make him really solid. Legolas is like unbeatable with that invisibility thing. So I just kind of don't play with him that much anymore, because it's a little bit cheap and ridiculous, and I find myself relying on it some. But either way, I hope you enjoy it. Any questions, you let me know. Thanks for watching.